So, what are we talking about tonight? Resident Evil or Resident Feeble?
Doesn't matter. We got unlimited breadsticks.
Shit.
We are back.
I don't know
unlimited breadsticks.
What am I gonna do with you?
So, we are talking about Resident Evil, the new Netflix series that was just launched on July 14th. They dropped an entire 8-episode season. So, we binged it and we're going to talk about it. So, Tony, you are well versed with Resident Evil. What do you think so far?
So, let me just put this disclaimer out right now. As long as you do not compare this to any of the games or any of the animated movies or any of those trash live action movies that has been put out under the Resident Evil name, it's not bad. But since it is technically considered Resident Evil, if I treat it as a standalone, as a, let's say this is a variant or a multiverse version of Resident Evil, then yeah, I can rock with it. But you did too much of the same things that you didn't think we would notice, like Albert Wesker, who was the main villain in 1, 2, and 3, was the main protagonist. And in this one, he's a good guy with 2 adoptive daughters.
Genetic creations for, lack
of a better. He's a scientist who cloned himself like Peter Parker. And what? Okay, I can look past that. No, I can't. It was just bad. That whole storyline to me was bad. Jade was so annoying. Young Jade and old Jade were both annoying. I could understand if one of them were annoying. Like if young Jade was the annoying child, I could see that. And then she grew up into a responsible adult. But her ass didn't learn nothing. She stayed the same and got worse. I have an issue with that. And I know, Will, you hate her. I gave her a chance, but nah.
Look, nah. Let's get into Jade. Look, like I'm definitely gonna get into Jade because yes, I do believe she was annoying. What's not annoying, freaking, and what we'd appreciate is you to definitely, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned so we can tell you about all this awesome stuff that we got going, and we can annoy y'all with a couple different things that we got going on. But Jade, look, Jade, she. From the first episode, Jay started doing stupid stuff that just didn't make any sense to me. First off, this is I'm not going to bash the actress. I'm not going to bash her by no means.
We cannot bash any of the actors.
The story writing was not good. The fact that when she first went out there and she got swarmed by zombies, she's fighting off the one on the ground while the rest of them just kind of stopped and not doing that.
I have a question because we both were in the Marines.
Yeah.
We know sleeves up and sleeves down.
Mm-hmm.
We know in certain environments, it's automatic sleeves down.
Yes.
Especially if you out in the woods where, we can get bit, stuck, scratched by anything in the woods. It's sleeves down. That's automatic.
Yes.
She's out here among zombies and metal containers with her sleeves up. That made absolutely no sense to me. None.
The writing made no sense. She's sitting there. She's getting messed up by this little bit of stuff. She stopped running from the giant caterpillar looking thing. Like she slid under something. Was like, that's it. I'm safe.
Right.
Pulled her out. Like
he pulled her back, and then the caterpillar just threw up in the air and ate her like all the other giant monsters do. They throw up in the air.
It's got to look at her and have a moment with her or something or whatever the case may be. I don't know. So none of that stuff really made any sense. Now this is older Jade. We talk about younger Jade, how she failed to protect her sister after being such a badass, You don't help her during the fight. You sit there and just scream and rah, so at that. You don't do nothing during the apology when she
no. You go no. We got to talk about. I can't speak about sticking up for your siblings since I am the only child. Besides, the brothers from another mother. But I grew up with a lot of siblings, and whenever one of them got into a fight, the other one got into that fight. It wasn't I'm holding back to see what happens. That's not how this works. Especially if your sibling is on the ground. She should have been clotheslined right there. That would have been it.
Something.
She should Jade to just pull off and be like, get mad. No, player, your sister is getting not only embarrassed, but she getting hemmed up on the ground. Not once. And then she got food mashed into her face. That's automatic fight for anybody. If that was my best friend and he got food mashed into his face, I don't care about we going. It's on.
We scrapping.
It's on. So nah.
Throughout this series,
Jade has
just been a pain as a character. Again, she's hesitates way too much. Everybody's grabbing guns. She gets stuck with a chainsaw at some point because she didn't think to go grab a gun. Like, she's one of the ones right there. She didn't think to go grab a gun. She's so worried about other things that are going on when she's fighting with the mother zombie. So at that, why you got your mouth open and screaming again, sleeves down, while you cutting the zombie's freaking head off? Like all that's in your face, in your mouth,
blood and bodily fluid. Player,
everything is in there. You don't know how a grenade works, so you pull the pin and toss it. And I'm gonna go look at it because it's not doing. It's a grenade. It's been in a warehouse. Give it a minute. Like, the fuse may be a little delayed, but
10 seconds.
You threw a grenade though. Like, you're gonna turn around and look at it to go see what's going on. Give it a minute. Let it do its job like that. Because again, they're about to knock that door down. So common sense tells you the impact is going to happen, and that's going to cause some stuff. When they were ducking around the cameras, that's both the characters. There was no consistency there. They were low crawling one point and then high crawling the next point. It's like he told y'all to get lower during the cameras. It's little stuff like this that I'm just dying. It's just inconsistency. When she got to the boat, she's laying on the bed and everything. Yes. She took a shower. They eventually give her a shower, but like,
literally, I was sitting here like, you got all this zombie blood on your face. Go take a shower. I don't care about your man. I don't care. You don't need to touch nobody but water and soap right now.
So Jade.
Whenever I came back in the field, first thing we did, shower. I ain't talked to nobody. I didn't talk to nobody. No, the CEO didn't talk to you, but your platoon sergeant didn't talk to you. No squad leader talked to you. When you got back to the base, everybody went to the shower.
Yeah. So it's so Jade herself was, a real problem.
Everybody around her died because of her.
She was the cause of a lot of things. Let's talk about Lancereddick, who carried the show. Like, I really believe he carried the show.
I mean, he had like 9 characters, so.
I mean, he had quite a few characters. He did his job.
Albert.
I'm very happy with his performance, and I know that the writing of the character. I read the books. Like, I enjoyed the books. I enjoyed the books what they were. I played
all the games.
I played majority of the games. I'm gonna say I played 1 through. I don't think I played the last 2.
You got to do Village. You got to do Village.
I got to get to it. So
you got to do Village.
I didn't get to the last 2. So, but again, I've played all this stuff and I've read the books, and so I know how the story goes. And like, there was a lot of little nuances and Easter eggs for stuff. Cool, yeah, I appreciate it. But again, I consider it's the same way with like a couple other shows when they're doing Avatar. They did Cowboy Bebop when they're doing these animes that are getting changed over to live action. If you watch it by itself as a standalone, some of this stuff is okay. Not all of it. Some of this stuff is okay as a standalone if you didn't watch nothing else. But if you know the history behind the stuff, you're kind of looking at it like, I don't know what you got going on here, but I'm not too much of a fan. And I'm trying to figure out how things are working.
And that's how my daughter looked at it, because she's seen me play the games. We play it in the house regular. And she's like, hey, I remember that monster. Now, I will say I did like that they gave all the monsters, all the mutations, time to shine. Mm-hmm. The liquors were great. That's what I expect out of liquors.
We got the dogs.
The dog was great. The spider, which I have arachnophobia, I could not watch, but my daughter watched it and she was like, it was great. The alligator, it only appeared in 1 game, but it was I loved how they used it. I hate that they had to blow him up. but that was the only way you could beat him. I loved all the usage of all the mutated animals. I loved it. That was better than any of the live action shows so far.
Yes.
So I can give them. That's what made it a little bit higher on the list that of my rating, because of the use of certain elements that gave shout-outs, like Lisa, the mutated lady. She was a secret character in Umbrella Chronicles.
Okay.
She was one of the secret characters. I like how they gave her the shine. She was that's how she looked and that's how she acted. I like that.
Yeah, I actually like the story transition. When they jump back and forth between present and past, like it wasn't a whole lot of skippity stuff. Like it actually made sense. It went along with a good flow. So I didn't feel disjointed at any point in time during the series where it was like, okay, we got this flashback, but it has no relevance to what's going forward. Every bit of relevance kind of had its moment to shine and keep the story moving. So I think they did very well in that aspect.
Right. They did. They made sure that whatever they're talking about in the present, the question that you had there, it immediately went to the flashback and answered it and then set up the very next present episode. And I was like, okay, the flow was nice, but again, storyline, characters. So I mean, they left a lot on the table that should have been done that they didn't do. And again, as a Resident Evil standalone, if you're just watching this to watch it, erasing your history, it's solid.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely want I want people to check it out and just give their honest opinion.
Still watch it. I mean, it's a good watch.
Yeah, it's a good watch and stuff. Like I really believe that, Ella Belinsky, she's the actress who played Jade. I think she did good in her role to be freaking, like she was like playing that role well in terms of everything's about me, but I don't know what's going on. But I'm saying one who's causing all these problems. And
her and Billy caused every single problem. Every single problem was them doing something they weren't supposed to.
Every single one.
Of course, my child busts out say, "See, this is why we don't need to have kids because of them." I was like, "Really? This is what you're gonna get from that?"
I mean, I thought it was great. Even the Richard Baxter character, he was fun. He was great. I love how he had that little cockiness about him. And I was waiting for him in the end to catch it, but he kept surviving. I was like,
I'm trying to figure out how did he get out of the liquor tunnel, because he only had a handgun, and his folks was falling left and right. How did you get out of that
he was
tunnel?
Carrying any extra rounds? So
he was carrying some extra weight. I mean, yeah, but that's about it.
Look, I'm just trying to figure out during his whole battle montage, which I'm glad they gave him a minute to shine. His whole battle montage, I'm like, how many times did he shoot somebody who was running up the stairs? And like, that's a gun right there. He had a shotgun. Why didn't you grab the shotgun? Like, this is stuff that goes through my mind. Like, arm yourself. You got 2 pistols with limited ammo because you just grabbed the ammo and you're not grabbing any other weapons, and you still end up in the tunnels with that same pistol. I guess you
and none of them. And again, they did it again. Them Umbrella people never reloaded.
Never.
I don't know how much ammo, but it didn't look more than an 18 round. It didn't look more than like 18 round clips in there, but none of them reloaded ever. When they was fighting the zombies, when Billy was there and they had, they were surrounded by zombies, they held a finger on that trigger and didn't stop. And it never ran out of ammo.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's shenanigans. It's
shenanigans. And don't get me wrong, like, yeah, we're military, so we're gonna pick this apart in terms of combat and experience. And I know not everybody in there is military trained. You expect the Umbrella people to have some sort of training.
They got to have the best though,
so to be able to do what they do. But even Albert Wesker, his character, it doesn't matter which version of him, all of them could fight because again, it's clone.
Let me point out the OG Wesker was dressed like the video game, and he did have the powers of Wesker when he was infected, because he wasn't moving across the super speed until he got infected.
And
he did die in a volcano, so I like how they threw that out there.
But I was like, when he walked in, I was like, Blade? Hey.
Right. That's my daughter. I said, is that Blade? I was like, no, fool.
So it was definitely great to see all the characters shine and the different personalities. Of course, Lance Reddick's got range. So at that, like, I was waiting for the other version of him to come out with his apron on, talking about some Toys Are Me, and it would have been freaking fantastic. But
yes.
Overall, the show itself, I think, did very well for what it was and set up with a lot of Easter eggs. With we know we got Ada Wong on the way,
which don't make sense
for season 2.
Which
doesn't
don't
make sense. I think what they're doing is just kind of throwing characters. I think we're going to get Ada Wong. I think we're going to get Chris Redfield
because
Leon
Kennedy the guy she was with ain't in the show yet, so I don't even know how Chris or Leon is going to come in this right now.
We gonna get freaking somebody.
Chris has to be established already.
Yeah, Chris has to be established.
But again, Chris, as I was explaining to the kid, this happened after 1 and before 2.
Yeah.
But the problem is, think about who was in 2. Now you're just something ain't gonna line up later. Something's gonna get missed.
So, I don't know. I'm about to break out all the books and reread them again and really just try to put it together and try to see where they're going to go with it. I'm really curious to see how they're going to play this out. But I do like that Netflix has been really branching out and trying a couple different things to kind of see what's going on with these shows. So I'm happy about it. If I were to give it a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, being standalone by itself with no issues, I give it, 7. I think it's, okay show. With me having the knowledge I have of it and the other stuff that I was nitpicking, that'll bring it down, of course. So you give it a 5. I mean, you're way more versed in
just because. Because my favorite game is Resident Evil 4, and then 5, and then Village. Well, actually, Village is above 5 now.
Whose favorite isn't 4?
I mean, 4 is like the greatest. It is. Greatest. But Village is right there with it. Village is right there with it. But again, I forgot one shout out to the triple shotgun because that was my weapon. I used that weapon. Every time I got it, it was being used. I always ran out of ammo because I was shooting everything with that. But no. It's got, knowing what I know, it's a 5. 6 at best with the correct usage of the monster that I enjoyed, because the mutations are what Resident Evil is about, and they made them accurate. So I could give it a bump for that. But as a standalone, maybe a 7.5 at most, maybe. But I got to give it a 5.5.
Yeah. All right. So we got a score. So what do you think is going to happen with the little girl? How do you think this is gonna
you mean the one that can control the crocodile? She control?
She shut that thing down and was like, hey.
It was like, mommy. That's what I was like, what the hell? This is like, wait a minute. So you can control. I'm thinking that because her mom was, genetically altered, that it got passed down to her, and then it altered her even further. Because we still don't know how they were altered, how Billy and Jay were altered. We still don't know. Maybe they had the tvirus put in them. Because don't forget, without Billy's blood, Wesker wasn't living. The clone wasn't. Remember, he had to keep taking them injections because of that.
He was pulling from Billy and pulling from Jade, and it was Jade in the end that ended up saving him with that last shot he took. And, he went out with a bang, literally. So... But how of course, I don't believe anybody's dead until I see body parts. And even then, this is Resident Evil. That still don't stop nothing.
And again, they use clones, so it's a cop out. So they can always clone him again.
Yeah, so he's gonna be the forefront of the show.
Even though Evelyn is now the puppet, she's a Pinocchio.
Yeah, so I think they're gonna dive into how she became the puppet in the next season. We're gonna see more flashbacks of that. I still think that the young versions are still gonna play a significant role in season 2 going forward to kind of set them up, and then getting into if they do a season 3 or season 4, hopefully
it's not gonna make it to 3.
We don't know.
It's not gonna make it to 3.
Look,
2 will be the last one if they do that.
Look, I didn't expect freaking Aladdin to make it to 3, but it did. Okay, look, certain things just kind of happen. People got money, they're gonna throw money at it. So
we can both agree that this is more successful than the last 2 live action movies.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
100%.
But that's all we got for this one. So definitely make sure you keep subscribed to us. Check us out. We are going to talk more about this and anything else coming forward with the Resident Evil series. And we still got stuff like She-Hulk and Andor coming up, as well as I believe Lord of the Rings.
That's right.
And the House of Targaryen or whatever that is, House of Dragons, all that kind of stuff. Hey, we're gonna be doing it all. So
That'll be
that's it. So we'll definitely catch you guys in the next one.